You are listening to the US of NA, a series of stories about the founders and innovators shaping the non-alcoholic movement from every corner of the country and beyond. For a full library of episodes, go to usofna.com or make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Are you a brand looking to find enthusiasts nationwide to collaborate with, or are you a fan of NA beverages open to sharing free samples with your run club or community group, or maybe getting paid to do in-store samplings? Then sign up at irlnation.com, the industry's first platform aimed at creating in-real-life partnerships in the category. Again, that's irlnation.com. Those were the sounds from Little Beer 5 in Duluth, Georgia, an invite-only brewer-led beer festival that was named one of the 10 best in the country by USA Today recently. It's different from a usual fest in two major ways. One, it's staffed not by volunteers, but by brewers and employees from the breweries themselves, which come from across the country to be involved and talk beer. Two, it focuses on lower gravity brews like English ales and lagers. You won't find any boozy double IPAs among its 70-plus brewery stalls. We interviewed Little Beer's founder and ringmaster Todd DiMatteo last season in episode 5. He's also the founder and brewmaster of Good Word Brewing. While at the festival, we chatted up a few of the breweries who have really embraced not just NA, but the full spectrum of beverage options for a consumer whose expectations continue to change. First up was Amber and Alex from our Asheville friends, Burial Beer. We interviewed their co-founder, Doug Reeser, in episode 2 of our first season, which, if you haven't listened to that yet, I'd highly recommend. Burial has done a phenomenal job of creating great experiences that go beyond the liquid and also beyond just craft beer. Here's Alex up first to talk about the different beverage programs they've created. He and Amber follow that up by talking about the spectrum of beverage options and also how Asheville is still dealing with the fallout from Hurricane Helene last September.
So I feel like a couple years ago, Burial wanted to kind of expand the scope of what we were offering to people beverage-wise and just open it up to be a little more inclusive for people who didn't drink alcohol or beer specifically. Obviously, we launched our wine program back in 2020 with visuals. It was probably about two and a half years ago. We originally started doing Chaos Machine and Social Device, kegging them. But we did have a lot of requests for, taking that stuff to go, packaged. People wanted it shipped and stuff like that. It was this past January we launched those two in cans. And then last year we also did a double IPA NA collab with Other Half, which was very well received. On top of that, we've also been hitting NA Negroni with Devil's Foot, kind of a collaboration thing. And then we've also got our coffee program rolling with coffee sodas and then beans, which we partner with Methodical for.
No, that's awesome. So this event's called Little Beer. A lot of the beers that are here are lower gravity. So what do you guys think about that in terms of like the whole spectrum of beverages and beers and, ABV that people are looking for?
I'll jump in there. So for me, what this festival means is that you get to hang out longer. And that means a lot for people that think about their third place. Before we started working at Burial, we always wanted to spend our time at Burial. So being able to sit down for a lengthy amount of time and not be concerned with, drinking, 8%, 9% double IPAs and just being able to, really enjoy your spaces means a lot to me. This is incredible, seeing all of the low gravity beers and knowing that people probably are going to be feeling good after a couple of hours. So that's really special.
So last question before I let you go. Obviously, Asheville had a big event, and we actually spoke with the owners of Nolo a couple months ago, whose store was unfortunately destroyed. They're in the River Arts District, but I know the city's on the comeback and has reopened its doors. So how is that going, and what can people do to support Asheville right now?
It's definitely been a wild ride over the past 6 months. I feel like people started coming back sooner than later. Obviously, there's a lot of places that still aren't open. Once we got power back, we were up and running, ready to go. We had done a whole community cookout thing for a couple weeks, slinging cans the day after the storm just to give people a safe space to come meet up and share information, since obviously nobody could get a hold of each other because all the cell towers were down. Overall, it seems like Asheville is definitely making a pretty good comeback, even though we have been experiencing a rapid amount of wildfires lately due to the damage Helene left behind. Overall, though, it's great to see the support that people have given us and Asheville in general.
I mean, we launched Manifest Eternity as soon as, the hurricane happened. And this is a program that Jess, our CFO, started. It's in collaboration with the North Carolina Brewers Foundation. And basically, anytime that we make a beer with that monarch behind it, the proceeds for that beer go towards helping these breweries apply for grants to help them rebuild. It's not going to take any sort amount of time right now. We don't know what that looks like. It could take 6 months. It could take 6 years for these people to regain what they lost. So we just want to tell people that continue to come, no matter what capacity you have, even if it's, buying something online and shipping it to your house from a different state, or just popping by for a beer and a burger. That's all we really want. We want to see your faces. We want to welcome you back. If you see, an event that we're having, please just come by and ask how you can help and continue to. We're really looking forward to, Zillicoa being open, sometime soon. I drive by there every single day on my way to work. I just saw their cooler get delivered, and it kind of brought tears to my eyes because that's just another step closer to seeing them back.
Really great to talk to both of them. And staying on Asheville for just a minute longer, if you haven't yet listened, we interviewed Jen and Jason Phillips of Nolo. That's Asheville's non-alcoholic bottle shop that was destroyed in the storm. That was in episode 20 of our first season that we talked with them. Next up, we talk with John Eberhardt, Sales and Distribution Manager for Charlotte, North Carolina-based Resident Culture. In addition to some award-winning NA beers, which they call their NARC series, he first talks about their THC program, which has grown to the point they've had to expand their distribution options. He also talks about the impact of regulatory noise around THC beverages at the state level, something that continues to play out and hold back more partners like big retail and hospitality from really jumping in. Here's John.
All right, we're with John with Resident Culture in Charlotte, North Carolina at Little Beer 5. And John, I would love to hear, I know you guys have gotten into the THC beverage space, which obviously is really taken off these days. We'd love to know just how that's going for you guys and what you're thinking about there.
Yeah, it's been going really well. So we own the brand Cumulo. Been selling it in the market for over 2 years now. Do a little bit here in Georgia, mainly a lot in North Carolina. Trying to expand within the Southeast, so stay tuned on that. One of our big selling points that we always like to lead with is we have multiple different strengths, 2.5 milligram, 5, 10, and then a 30, a real high gravity we call Storm. We actually sell well enough that we now have to get it co-packed off-site to keep up with the demand. We just ship it out by the pallet weekly through our distributor partners, so it's been really amazing. We also do an NA line called NARC, Non-Alcoholic Resident Culture. We actually just won the gold medal at Great American Beer Festival for our Hazy IPA, so very, very proud about that. And then our lime lager with sea salt actually won bronze at the NC Brewers Cup against beer for the experimental beer category as an NA beer, so really, really proud about that.
No, that's great. So with either NARC or the THC stuff, do you guys find that is that a different consumer or just the same people who are buying craft beer or a little bit of both?
Yeah, actually get that question a lot. Obviously, some of our first early adopter accounts were, the bottle shops, the beer bars and stuff like that. Still don't have really major chains have it activated yet. Total Wine does. So right now it's kind of the same as craft beer just because of that fact mainly, I would say. But once that finally gets approved and changed, most chains are waiting on legislation per state before they activate it, which is totally understandable. But I think once that kind of dam breaks, it's going to really open up a brand new customer segment for us and everybody else.
Well, we appreciate John spending a few minutes with us. Between Resident Culture and Burial, I think those are two leaders in really understanding the full spectrum of beer and beer-adjacent options that just so happen to be based a few hours apart in the same state. All right, last but not least, we finished this bonus episode back in our home state of Georgia, also home of Little Beer, with an interview with Sean Bainbridge, co-founder of Atlanta-based Halfway Crooks. Sean talks about not only why they created their Brevit Pils NA, but a little bit about the process, as well as the importance of safety in serving NA beer in a tap room, which is clearly very important to him. As a brewery, they do a really good job of providing NA options beyond just beer. Here's my conversation with Sean.
We started brewing Brevit about January of 2024. And it took about a year to kind of dial the recipe in. We were just, we didn't have a lot of NA pill. We didn't see a lot of NA pilsners in the market, and we love making pills, and started kind of researching how we would do such a thing, especially without a pasteurizer. So we started looking into other ways to control the microbial activity and mold, etc., that you need with these type of beers. And we came across a product called Kyber from Genova Bioworks. And what we do is we use it's basically a chitosan fiber product that basically takes the chitosans from the white button mushroom, and it grabs onto the cell walls of bacteria, yeast, prevents them from reproducing. So it's kind of like a static product. So you really need to have like low numbers of bacteria and yeast in your product in order for it to be kind of a viable option. Full disclosure, you need to send this off to a lab and make sure that your product is food safe. So we opted to use that instead of pasteurization, just given the barrier there, or the cost barrier. But yeah, in order to make our pills, we started playing around with. We think we brew it up to like 5.5 Plato, goes down to around 4.5 Plato. We use a variety of malts, pills, melanoidin malt. We will use dextrin or wheat to give it some body, and then a very kind of layered hop dosage in the boil. We really try to stay within a food safe pH range. We don't try to, we do. Just to make sure that everything is food safe. It's a very tricky thing to do.
Do you guys see this NA? I know you said it took you about a year or so to really get the formula down. Is this something you guys see as part of a larger program for you?
Right now, we're looking into maybe an IPA in the future, but right now we're really just focusing on making sure that this beer is safe and also tastes really, really good, a really good beer before we move on to the next. We do have a lot of NA options at our brewery. We distribute the beer or the NA product, and we have that available at our brewery in cans. But yeah, right now I think we're really just focusing on the customer experience at our brewery with just our NA beer and our NA options. We have Ish, has like a spritz that's very popular. We use Parch as well. They have like a Paloma spirit that's really great. There's just the NA world is really blossoming. There's a really good NA store in Atlanta. I believe it's called the Zero Co. And then there's Zero Proof, which is a distribution company. It's a really great time to kind of see the NA market blossom and bloom and give us all these really great tasting options.
Well, we really appreciate you spending a few minutes with us, Sean, and appreciate you guys doing an NA and having it on draft as well at the brewery. It's always a nice thing to have.
We clean our lines very regularly, and it's really tough to keep a draft NA beer on without it getting infected from your other beers or products. So you really want to have a extremely safe cleaning protocol. We're also developing a HACCP plan, which is a European standard, in order to maintain the safety of our NA beer brewing process. So yeah, safety is the key here, and I would very much encourage everyone to study this and make sure you know what you're doing before you attempt to make NA beer or any NA product.
All right, we want to thank Alex, Amber, John, and Sean for talking to us, as well as Todd DiMatteo for graciously giving us behind-the-scenes access to the breweries there. Next up, we've got an episode or two lined up before we'll be doing some recording at this year's Craft Brewer Conference and Expo in Indianapolis in late April. If you're going to be there by chance, please reach out to us through nationbeer.com. We'd love to meet up. Until then, cheers.